Can we talk about this? Can we go in a little bit on this? All right. All right. So, hey, Facebook land and YouTube land. It's a different vibe today. I learned that Mercury, there are 7 planets in retrograde. Okay. As folks come on here on Facebook, there are 7 planets in retrograde. And so I have been in such a zone. What about you? Have things been moving easily for you? Have you noticed technology has been tripping? Come on. Have you been paying attention to what's up? So I want to have this conversation because before we can even talk about spiritual business owners, wellness business owners, helping professionals, change agents, before we can even talk about that, we have to really explore the fact, do you think personal development is required for financial growth? And I just want to lead into the tunes of my sister here, Tony Jones, who gets me. It's the first line for me. It's the first line. So listen, I'm just coming in on a vibe. Thank you all for joining, but I want to get the feedback. Okay, so somebody already said the energy is high. Okay.
Unapologetic with my priorities.
Are you unapologetic with your priorities? Do you ask for help? We're talking about personal development. I'm riding off this song. She talks about a daily ritual. Do you have a daily ritual to program what it is that you want? I just want to know, have you ever asked yourself? Work ethic. I want to talk. Hey, what's up, Kevin, Nina, and the queens that are in the comments over here on Instagram? Come on. Invite a few people out. I want to know, how is it we're broke and brilliant? Come on. I want to know. You think personal development is required? Okay. Okay. I'll pause it because I don't want to talk over Miss Tony. I don't want, because it gets me. Hey, what's up, cousin? Hang on with us. So listen, I just want to ask you, for real. Is there a breakdown somewhere when you have a degree and yet you have debt? Is there a breakdown somewhere when you know that you are gifted, but you've been given the shop away? Is there a breakdown when you know that you are authentic and you serve and you are a change agent and you are born to be a change agent? Is there a breakdown? Because what we see in front of us are a lot of people like athletes. We see a lot of strippers winning, a winning season for strippers. We see a winning season. It looks like that, right? When we talk about money, the things that we need it for your financial growth. And this could be somebody who has a awareness, like there was, please put it in the comments the moment you realize that you needed to do some personal growth so that your money can grow. Or you, even if you don't know it like that, check this out. Are you self-aware enough to know that something shifted and you saw a big increase either in your career, your positioning in your career, the increase in the amount that you were paid, the quality of the clients that you attract? Because I'm just curious, like I'm really asking a real question for us, who, this is a dilemma, particularly for good girls and good boys who went to school, got good grades. Come on now, y'all know the story. Finish the script with me. Who went to school, got good grades, got a job. Might not have been a good job, but you got a job. And did that job lead you to your destiny, or did that job delay? I want to know for real. I want y'all to tell me. I'm not going to be on that long today, because I am working with an invitation to spiritual millionaires who are in my business incubator, who are right there at that point of really breaking some records. There's some record breakers in the business incubator, and those who have been in the Shift Everything camp, I am inviting you to join me, but that's not what I'm here to talk about today right now, because I want to know if you even think that are there any examples, for instance, of where personal development led to expansion, scaling, business growth? I really want to know. I really want you to tell me in the comments. I mean, I can think of, let's use some pop culture examples. That would be good, because if you think I'm talking about you, there's the mind automatically shuts down and starts sometime, unless you've been working with me and you've been in this conversation of personal development. But for instance, if you think somebody's talking about you and it's going to cause you to go towards pain or guilt or shame, there's a tendency to say, I don't want to deal with that. So let's look at pop culture. Let's look at what's in front of us. Let's look at, okay, so I have a comment on Instagram. And we have another one of our sisters who chose to come on Instagram instead of Facebook or YouTube. No worries. We'll work with it. Okay. So you said your corporate job, my corporate job delayed. Okay. So you're saying because your corporate job was delayed, you're welcome to come on live with me on Instagram, CJ, if you want to, babe. So you can say it in your own words, if you haven't already gone over to the other in the group. Okay, so someone else said last year showed me that the job has delayed my personal development and pursuits of my passion. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. There's nothing like an interruption, right? A layoff or something like that. Anything that makes you reevaluate all of the sacrifice or the delay, why you stayed so long. Oh my God, how many of you ever had to ask the question, I knew that this is not what I wanted, and why did I stay so long? Now that could apply across any area. That's how come I work with love, sex, and money. Hey, sis. That's how come I work with love, sex, and money, because the truth of the matter is when we start to uncover one area, and that's the job of the juicy journey, then you start to unravel other areas and layers that have been keeping you from things. At least that's my opinion. But let's use a pop culture example. Another sister here, Supreme Body Studio, said yes, because emotional intelligence comes from personal development. Okay, well, some people would argue with you, right? Because we see let's not go to rappers. Let's go to ball players who get multi-million-dollar packages and deals, and then they end up bankrupt. What is the mindset there that you see ball players who get the money and then they end up bankrupt? Can somebody tell me anything you've studied, anything that you know, and why this could be possible? And yes, I am bare-faced today, honey, because I was talking about these planets being in retrograde. Like, this is a season where you might want to feel like you want to move real fast or get something done, but you have to move in flow and be paying attention. And so relax. So my intention is to get a few things done on my task today and to slow it down a bit, so I don't have to have the retrograde energy to slow me down. So rather than getting glammed up for you, this is what it is today. Okay. All right. And it ain't bad. I love myself. I love myself. I love you too. And I think, tell me, do you think that that Facebook is doing a dance? Because it looks like, with me being in two groups, something is going on with Facebook, which brings up another thing around personal development, because how many people had a whole fit when Facebook and Instagram were not performing, right? Let's deal with the pop culture. What came to mind to me today was Cardi B. You feel me? Cardi B. If you notice, when Cardi B started to, if you look at her in terms of how she was on Love and Hip Hop, And then when her music and the attention started to take off, and how people were paying attention was, of course, sometimes negative feedback. Unfortunately, sometimes you don't know how big your influence is until you start to understand how many people are watching you when you're at that level. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. Um, so Cardi B, for instance, what did you notice that shifted with Cardi B? Would you say it was when she first got her teeth done? Remember when she got her teeth done? That's the physical. And so we have a culture that does a lot with the physical, the exterior. And some of you who are watching on Instagram, you are in the Spa Boss tribe, or you have worked with me in the nurse tribe, and you, or wherever medical wellness tribe, and you know that you specialize in working on the external because it's a $1 billion industry about how you look, particularly now with so-called reality TV. So when you are externally focused like that, at what point do you catch up to personal development? Do you think that celebrities, for instance, in particular, only catch up to personal development because they're exposed and they see themselves reflected back in whatever has been broadcasted? Is that a possibility? Because there is no value in personal development if you sometimes cannot see yourself, if there's no self-awareness. Would you agree? So then, for instance, let's say you continue on a track and now you're making the 6 figures, 7 figures, and then the relationship with money is only when I get in trouble do I need to grow. Is it possible that the average Jane and Joe has the same relationship with money? Because how many of us were taught that personal growth and financial growth go together? And I'm like, let's just be honest. I'm gonna tell you, for me, real quick, because I want you to put in the comments your thoughts. Where have you seen it? Give me an example. You could just drop a name in pop culture that you may know, or maybe your own experience. If you're watching and just joined in, put your own experience. So a couple people already put their own experience. The loss of a job made you self-reflect, so you had to have a different game plan. Okay, so we got that. But I will tell you that for me, and we're going to talk about this separately. For me, when I was doing ministry first, I was doing the spiritual work first. I've been in this game for about 20 years, for as long as I've been with the Reverend Dr. Ian Van Zandt, right? And so, but when I first started, well, first of all, I was called to ministry. So if you're a minister who's talking, who's watching, this is important, because so many of us, particularly those who are melanated, and I mean at any degree of melanin, we are culturally conditioned for love and for service and for compassion. That's how we've taken care of each other in our tribes, right? So what happens is, a lot of times, I know that when you get oriented around your calling, if you get oriented around service, you tend to have a nonprofit philosophy about your relationship with money. How many, like, so personal growth, what do you all consider personal growth in the first place? When we consider personal growth, the question on the table is personal growth required for financial growth? What do you consider personal growth? Because personal growth could not be spiritual to some people. Corporations do it all the time. Corporations call your professional development investment. Come on now. And if particularly if you worked in a corporation and you have had some investments from your leadership in a professional development plan, you might have gotten personal development in the work that you're doing, right? The basic personal development sometimes is time management, for instance. That can be personal development. Come on, y'all, talk back to me unless there's a delay. Because I ain't going to be on here long just talking to you. This is a real question for the tribe because it's something that I also want you to consider. Why do we continue to be degreed and in debt, broke and brilliant, gifted and giving it away? And so I really want to ask many of you in our tribe, are you sick and tired of that? Because you maybe we wouldn't have to prioritize having a game plan if we already came in with an inner plan, an inner game plan. So what happens is, and I'm gonna go back to my story. Many of us specialize in doing the inner work first, or some of us we start tilting over to doing the inner work, and then there's absolutely no relationship, no commitment, no game plan for financial growth. So I was using myself as an example. And so when I first came into the transformation industry, it was for myself, it was for me. I didn't come in with an agenda like many millennials and some of these folks out here who are just monetizing their ministry or monetizing their gifts. Okay, many generation X's, we had not gotten to the point of fully monetizing our gifts, and so I'm a part of that generation. I a helper. In fact, if you know anything about your life path number, I'm the life path number 9, which is a humanitarian number. Humanitarians oftentimes are chief ones, number 1, to want to give things away. You want people to get, I'm a teacher, I'm a natural teacher. So when I came in, I was trained on spiritual technology, mastery of spiritual technology. And I had the fortune and the privilege to have a line of elders who had already been doing this work for years in several different traditions, several different modalities, several different professions. After all, Yamla, for instance, is a lawyer. We've had nurses, NPs on our team, doctors. There have been psychologists. There have been other people who specialize in other types of business owners. I had an opportunity to come through learning through this type of leadership, and it did create a true level of mastery of spiritual technology. But when it was time for me to grow financially and in the marketplace, I only knew traditional ways that were out in the marketplace. And the first thing, did you all attend on Sunday? On Sunday, I did an upgrading your yes and broke down 4 ways to play. And I talked about implementation being the lowest level of wealth and energy. Did you all see the implementation is really the employee mindset when you're just stuck in doing, and it's not just about stuck in doing. It's an idea that I have to earn. And most of the time what I see, and I'm not just talking about spiritual people. Okay, good, I got some answers finally popping in on Facebook and on. Okay, so Sandra from the Dominican Republic by way of New York says, no, I was taught to go to school, get a good job. That's where the stuck appeared. Personal growth is required to shift. Okay, good. All right. Thank you so much. And then we have in the comments, my sister Renee says, financial growth equals personal growth. And it was taught to me by my grandparents and my parents. Now, that's definitely an exception. But let me tell you the financial plan that many of us heard. Many of us heard a financial plan, depending on what generation. There's a generation that heard a financial plan of putting your money in a mattress. In my case, my mom put her money, I say my money, but she did put my money too in a Christmas club. Anybody remember Christmas clubs? That was a working woman's way of being able to provide for her children, or a working family's way. Anybody know about a Christmas club? A Christmas club is like, you can start at any time in the year, and you take all of your money out at around the Christmas season so that you would have money during that time. Now, of course, now listen, if I had known what I know now, if my mother, you do, okay, good, all right, Vivian, Thank you. Okay, cool. You remember. All right. We got remembering on Facebook. We got remembering on Insta. Okay, CJ remembers a Christmas club. And that is the savings route. The savings. The savings is the energy of implementation. The budgeting is the energy of implementation. It's still something attached to you working. Y'all remember, some of y'all who were in shift camping and other places said that your money was unemployed. Okay, so I don't care what we was talking, unless our money is working for us. But as long as we're still working, my question to you is, what then? So let me ask another question: what personal development is required for financial growth? What type of personal growth is required for financial growth? And I have another comment here. So from, I think this is Naive Frankie NP. I don't know if I got that right. Forgive me. You can put your name in the comments. But you said personal growth is a higher understanding of self, our wants, needs, and limitations. I was not taught to spend on personal growth, just professional. The goal has been survival, not purpose. Oh my God, sister. Put your name in the comments. You landed it. Do y'all like that? Y'all like that? She said, I'm going to read it again. You got to put your name in so I can say your name to give you credit. She said, personal growth. Tell me while I'm reading hers, okay, I see yours. I see yours, Antoinette. You said, personal growth is a higher understanding of self, our wants, our needs, and limitations. She said, I was not taught to spend on personal growth, just professional. The goal has been survival, not purpose. That's deep. They on Facebook, they're saying you are on point, sis. Okay, so let me go to Antoinette. You answered the question. You said personal growth to you led you to the root of your lack of financial growth. Come on. This is tribe talking. That's tribe talking. She said that has ultimately led to my spiritual growth. Now I'm gonna read hers again too. She said personal growth led me to the root of my lack of financial growth that has ultimately led to spiritual growth. Okay, so then she said, having the tools, Antoinette said, having tools and understanding. She used that word intentionally. Antoinette, tell them why you use understanding. Understanding the principles and universal laws provide exponentially how to grow in all areas to a level of mastery. Oh my God. Listen, I love it when the tribe talks, honey. Okay, one sister said the goal has been survival and not purpose. Listen, how many of us have used, okay, Frankie, thank you, Frankie. How many of you have used church as your personal growth? How many of you have used Google as your personal growth? How many of you have used scrolling through Facebook and Instagram as your personal growth? Because when you are looking at governing and yourself accordingly, or according to this new currency, this new age that we're being prepared, you see cords being cut. And many people do not have the personal growth and development to handle what it is they need to get their minds in position for to grow financially, because we're so focused on being afraid and being in judgment and being afraid and being in judgment that there is no awareness of how to mind. And I do mean mind. And but when you mind your own business, you mind your business. You mind it's a chiseling away of the hard stone to get to the gems that you need to get to the next level. There are things that I did not know as coming in as a spiritual person who was so committed to I thought the hocus pocus was if I would just be a good person, if I do good by people, then of course I'm going to profit. But there's a ceiling on that, and oftentimes the ceiling is when you are putting your hands in somebody else to pay you what you deserve. And so, and if you don't know about investments and you're still in the mindset of saving, then because any radical millionaire mentor will tell you that savings is the lowest level to find, the lowest and the slowest. There's some risk that have to take place when you decide to grow personally. When you decide to grow personally, there are risks that you are taking, because let me tell you something that I learned, and I'm gonna get on out of here. That there's a pie. I do have a learning board. Let me use it today. I'm gonna erase my affirmation and come back and write it again. I'm gonna do this learning board real quick on the pie. This blessed me. For those of you who are the change agents in your family, those of you who have been, and you take the time to get on lives like this was a training for me that talked about a circle, like a pie. I erased my affirmation, so there's some words back there. Circle. So when you look at the circle, and I probably should have used black, but let's say this is a pie, and it's divided into 4 squares. You can see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? When you begin to shift, let's just say that the squares represent your family, your body, or health. Let's say health. Let's say habits. And that could be your daily routine. You know, family is quality time, that type of thing. And then work. Now, where is personal growth if you're in survival mode in the pie? Where's personal growth? Life just happens. When you don't plan to grow personally, then life just happens, and life has been happening since March of 2020. Would you agree? It's been happening for the whole world. We can't ignore it. And so many of us have delayed and denied that it was necessary or valuable. But then when you make a decision that, okay, wait a minute, I have to, not only is it about personal growth in terms of just studying books. Yes, readers are leaders. However, there is something called experience when you're talking about personal growth. So either life teaches you or you choose for your life to be taught. Either life teaches you or you choose for your life to be taught by being proactive. And so what happens is, now when you shift, so when you make a choice comes in. I talked about choice. Let's say you make a choice that I'm going to dedicate some time here. I'm going to spend less time in these particular habits and more time over here in terms of growth. Well, the ratio of the pie just shifted. That's why I say it. Let me do the ratio of the pie just shifted. Oh Lord, this says grow. I can write. Grow. You make this choice to grow. And so the pie just shifted. That means family who are expecting you to be the same person, to do the same things, to respond the same way. This is where that often used refrain of no is a complete sentence. This is where we talk about all this self-care. This is where we talk about living well and eating well and that type of thing, because we have examples of people who have money, but they and in our own life who are brilliant, but yet they're begging. How are we begging? We're still looking for the government to give us solutions that is in our DNA, that's in our medicine cabinet, that's in our backyards. But because we have been affected by an industrial society that made us codependent on going out to somewhere to get, okay, so personal growth. Let me ask you something before I close out. How did your mama grow personally? What forced her growth? Your daddy, your big sister, a big auntie. What grew them? What's the difference between you and Big Mama? Because you know what we do in our families is we talk about the character defects in each other, but do we ever offer any solutions, or do we become the solution in our family? The shift, the generational shift. Because that is what I come all the time offering when I say shift everything. Because when you shift, when I move, you move, just like that. When I move, you move, just like that. I need to find that song. You may not think that the work you're doing on yourself matters, but it does. And you don't have to have an upset or a blow up or to be exposed. You can reformat your relationship with pain. Pain does not always have to be the driver to growth for yourself or for your finances. That's what I have learned. And because I didn't, and for instance, a lot of people think money is a taboo subject. Love, sex, and money is a taboo subject. But a lot of people love to talk about money as a disguise for sex or a disguise for money and provision. And so it's a taboo subject. So therefore, we don't what? We don't talk about it. We're not honest about it. We avoid it. And so it's taboo. And so instead of going into the taboo, into the limitations, I love Frankie's definition of personal growth and development, because she said it's also your wants. And so I wonder, for those of you who are spiritual and broke, brilliant and broke, degreed and debt after debt, because we are you if do you all see that the debt system is falling? Do you all understand what the debt system is? No, most of us don't, because I didn't either. And so many of us are trying to manage debt. A lot of times when you ask people if what they would do with more money, many people will say the first thing they say is they pay a bill. And that tells you a lot why you need personal growth, because when you start to learn true game, you don't think about paying a bill. You think about investing and letting your money make some money for you, whether that be in yourself, for your exit plan, or it be in a big choice that requires you to play a bigger game. So if you are ready to play a bigger game, I'm inviting you to DM me. If you want to play a bigger game, I'm gonna tell you if you have a coach that doesn't have a coach, run in the other direction quickly. If you have a minister that is not connected to him, and if you have all these priestess and shamans and all these crystals and all these things that have no connection, no accountability to anything, run. And that is why we end up spinning our wheels on hocus pocus, wanting to be like them, but we have no game plan. And so they give many of these teachers only tell you just enough and a little bit, just so you can do a little bit. And people who don't pay attention. So no, I'm not free. And then what I'm offering to you, yes, the free one is going across the line. You can text 844-601-0700 to claim your Shift Everything preview process. For some people, that might be enough. But for other people, if you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, or wondering why you are the one in your family to be the difference maker, to be the shift that you are looking for, because would you like to recommend somebody else? You are the one. And it is, and it's not just even for people who already have money. It's not about just having money. It's about having a game plan. It's not just about having a job, by the way. Oh, I got a job, I'm good. I got a job in a pandemic. I got a job come on now. That's not what I'm talking about. There's always another level. And I'm talking about quantum leaps. If you're interested in quantum leaping yourself and your relationship, your mindset, not just your mindset, because I want you to understand, I'm closing out this year, not just talking about it, but for those who are being about it, who really want to play a different game. And the reason why I made the comment about coaches and mentors, I thought I have had some amazing experiences. And that's what I was saying earlier. how I knew that it was connected. When I got into a training with a millionaire mentor is when I immediately saw the turnaround, the blind spots that I could not see. And I had quantum leaps being plugged into that energy within 30 days. That was one of the first times I saw the game change for me. But then, and this is when I'm saying, listen, this is when I'm telling you that I'm not just doing spiritual work. I'm always going to be doing the spiritual work, and anything I do is spiritual. So that is not a question. And I had to reconcile that in myself. So there is a level of honesty. Didn't I start off talking about self-awareness? First, you have to have self-awareness outside of there being a problem. Only problem management, conflict management. So I'm just wondering, because if nothing from nothing leaves nothing, and if you keep on doing nothing about the thing that you desire to change and waiting for something to happen, waiting for jobs to open up, waiting for permission, and you have to go vaccinate your children when you don't know, you want to homeschool, you want to do something else with your family. Your family has plans, but survival makes you choose something else. Now, consciousness does make us exempt. When you are all conscious of ancient Egypt and history, it's time out for all of that right now. In fact, so what I propose to you, not only is personal development required for your next level, it is mandatory, particularly in the season of spiritual warfare that we are in. It is absolutely mandatory. And there are ways, even if you have a job, to plan for. You don't have to. There are some people that's hearing, I ain't ready to leave my job, I'm not ready to jump out there. Okay. When they say when the Bible says your gifts will make room for you, I want to just offer to you that you got to do what the other part where it says, try me, test me, prove me. And so I want to invite you to try the God in you, as you and through you. Test the God in you, as you and through you, and prove the God in you, as you and through you, with a proven system that works. Now, I'm closing out this year. Those of you who are my clients, one of the first things that my coach said to me, he said, go on your website and change your prices immediately. Take this down, do this. So there are certain things that I have been doing because maybe I've been holding some of you hostage to some of the exceptions that you make, because I remember when I made them. I remember when I did it. So I always wanted to be able to meet many of you at the level wherever you could get in. And some of you still won't get in except for free. But that's okay. Everybody needs cheerleaders. Even me, Lord. But what I'm saying now is I got shifted and I got given something that I was told that I could give away to you. And that is what I'm doing in the Spiritual Millionaires Manifesto, the New Mind, New Money Blueprint. The New Mind, New Money Blueprint is coming down. And it will only be offered for the Spa Expo in its new format, which is a 5-day training that is a 5-day challenge. So that's later. But right now, I have something that can let you finish strong. And if you are interested, I want you to DM me, because we can talk about it. At least vote for yourself, to show up for yourself and inquire. The same way you do when Macy's puts on a sale and they say 40% off. And you say, well, I'm just going to go see what they have. Well, I'm saying, come see me. I don't post my prices on my website because I'm not a retail store. I am boutique, customized, high end for you, for your, okay? And so let's just play a bigger game. Connect with me, DM me. Oh my God, my sister my sister's watching me. This is the first time ever. I'm so shy right now. My sister is watching me. But I'm honored. I'm honored. You coming, Zadana? Okay, Zadana. This is for you and for your celebrity clientele, honey. Let's turn this thing all the way up in Florida for you. Okay, baby? We long overdue, Zadana. Okay. And so Laquita, Elise, you all are gonna be getting emails from me today about our game plan. We're meeting tomorrow night, like I thought, at our regular business incubator time. So those of you who are in shift camp, who already said that you are getting in position for this particular training, I promise you this is the game changer. Oh my God. Oh my God. I have not ever used this before. I don't use this much. Let's just say it's the game changer that delivered me. So I love you all. There's nothing you can do about it. I want to see you all on the other side. Ciao. I can't wait either, Elise. See y'all. I hope it's been good. And those of you who are thinking, that's okay. Think out loud. Send me a DM. Tell me what you learned. And you can always comment any questions in the comments. I'll answer. I love you, y'all.